Greetings, humans. Welcome to the video today. We're going to be setting up a site in DreamWeaver for the Sped by Me project that we're building, and we're also going to go ahead and upload the template. So I've already downloaded the template files. They're right here inside of this zip. Okay. And so we'll get to that here in a moment. The first thing I want to do is we're going to create a new site in DreamWeaver. So this is one of the most important steps, because this is what's going to allow DreamWeaver to keep all of the files and all of the other server bindings and anything else that we set up organized and associated with a particular site. So we're going to start by going to site, and then we're going to create a new site. I'm going to name this site Sped by Me. And I'm going to select the local site folder. This is where the site files are locally. So I've already created a folder called Dev on the desktop, and then we've got Sped by Me. And so I'll just go ahead and select this folder. So now that's setting the root of this folder to the local site folder. Okay. If you have a Git repository, you can set that up here. But the next part is the servers. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this plus sign, and let's create a new server. This is the live server. You could also put like the company or something, so I'll just put cPanel. And then select your connection type. And I'm going to grab my FTP credentials right here. And so for the FTP address, I'm going to use the IP address. And I will cover creating FTP credentials in cPanel in the cPanel tutorial series. So that's a completely different series, but it's not going to be long before I have it available for everyone. But once you put in your credentials, you can hit the test button. And if your credentials are correct, DreamWeaver connected to your web server successfully. Click OK. Now you can set your root directory, but because when I created the FTP credentials, I pointed the credentials at the directory that I wanted as my root. But in the case that the credentials point to a directory other than your root, you can define what the root you would like to be. And you're going to understand why that's important here once we begin working with the files. Here under Advanced, I normally like to check automatically upload files to server on save. And if you wanted to keep a record of multiple people checking files in or out, or just you checking files in or out, you can enable the file checkout and put a checkout name and email address. And then you would have to check files in and out before being able to do anything with them. For the testing server, you can set this up, but I'm not going to set up a testing server right now. We're just going to only be working on the live server. So I'll go ahead and click save. So now we have the server here. We've got the local folder here. So I'll go ahead and hit save. And now, so here under our files panel, we've got Sped by Me right here. Okay. We can switch this from local view to remote server. And we can open this up, and here on the left hand side we have the remote server. On the right hand side we've got our local files. Now before I do anything else, I want to switch out my DreamWeaver layout. So right now it's at the standard layout, and that's probably what it's going to be when you first install DreamWeaver. I like to work in developer. So I'm going to go ahead and switch this to developer. You see it just brings everything to the left-hand side. For me, that's just a little easier, and it moves a lot of that other stuff out the way that I don't need. Okay? So now, we already have, as you can see, we already have a home page here. That's this index.html file right here. And so if I bring down the images along with it, so you can see right here now, here's that file. Okay. With DreamWeaver, you can see there is a design view and a code view. Okay, so you can manipulate this file right there in the drag and drop area. And so we can make changes there. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and delete this. I don't need this file anymore. So let's go ahead and get rid of this and this. All right. And we're going to take our files that come from the CodeLander download, and I'll put those here. So now we've got the index and the assets. And so over here, I'll switch to local view, refresh. So now you see we've got index.html and assets. So go ahead and just upload this. And actually, I'm going to do it over here. So now you see over here on the left, all we have is the index.html. But over here, I've got assets and index.html. So I'm just going to select the index.html file so that it overrides that one. And then I'll select the assets folder and hit the upload button. And DreamWeaver is going to work to automatically keep everything in the same directory structure as it's structured on my local folder. So you can see now we've got index.html and assets right here. So all I have to do now is refresh this page. And there we have it. So now we have the entire home page right here ready on the Sped by Me domain on our server, ready for us to download and access. So I'm going to just go ahead and over here on the live server, I'm going to double click index.html. You see it opens right here. Now I'm going to switch my view to code view, and we're not going to spend much time in design view. In fact, I spend 0 time over in design view. All of my time is spent in code view. So thanks for watching. In the next video, we'll begin manipulating this HTML file.